This is a presentation discussing the various aspects of copyright infringement in the music industry. Copyright infringement can occur in various art forms in the music industry and is not limited to just audio. We'll discuss some of these issues, such as an example of a non-audio infringement regarding the critically acclaimed album To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. But we'll focus primarily on the audio since that's what music is. Copyright infringement in its simplest definition is using artwork that is not yours and gaining profit from it. It's essentially stealing. And that brings us to the subdivision of our topic. Ever since I can remember, I've been a hip-hop junkie. My dad gave me an Eminem album whenever I was 11, and I've fallen in love since. People often view the art form and industry as rebellious and thug-like, and though it is on the surface, below that is a highly saturated and complex business environment that is very unforgiving. So you're probably wondering why this art form matters at all. Long story short, the music produced by these artists you see here is largely responsible for me making it all the way to this class. Music is very inspiring for some people and can help people get through some extremely tough situations. So don't judge the industry by its cover. Everybody knows the song Blurred Lines. T.I., Robin Thicke, and Pharrell are the producers and were approached by Marvin Gaye's estate due to a potential lawsuit. The song clearly samples Got to Give It Up by Marvin Gaye, but the sample was not cleared by the Gaye estate. Pharrell and Thicke testified against the suit, but were found guilty. The Gaye estate was awarded $7.3 million in damages and the ability to prohibit any future sales of the song. T.I. was not found liable. So what exactly constitutes copyright infringement? The answer to the question, as stated by copyright.gov, is anyone who violates any exclusive rights of the copyright owner as provided by sections 106-112 or of the author as provided by section 106 is an infringer of the copyright or right of the author. Basically, if you use artwork somebody has legal rights to or use an artist's work without their permission, you will probably find yourself in legal hot water. This goes for non-commercial or non-profit use as well, but the punishment is often just a slap on the wrist. So there are several situations where plaintiffs attempt to stretch the boundaries of copyright infringement. One particular example is Rosa Parks. Pictured on the left are Big Boi and Andre 3000 of the rap supergroup out of Atlanta known as Outkast. Rosa Parks sued Outkast for using her name as the title of one of their songs on the album Home of the Brave. She said Outkast, quote, infringed the trademark in her name and violated her rights to publicity by using her moniker as a song title without permission. The parties settled outside of court, even though the case brewed around the courts for more than 6 years. Rosa Parks' daughter later admitted that Rosa Parks' dementia was likely the cause of the lawsuit. Pictured on the right is producer and rapper Kanye West. Kanye West has a great song called Gold Digger. In this song, Kanye cleared the sample I Got a Woman by Ray Charles, but he did not clear his sample of David Pryor's 1974 record Bumpin' Bus Stop, which the Pryor estate sued him for. The claimed sample was the chorus, "Get down, girl, go ahead, get down." The case is still going on, but the reason this is a stretching of the boundaries of copyright infringement is Kanye West used 6 words, and if you can claim possession of 6 words rather than have those 6 words be intellectual property, I don't know, that's a pretty tricky statute to work around. So there are a few examples of obvious copyright infringement where the author didn't really try to cover themselves up at all. Pictured on the left is the rapper Vanilla Ice. He has one hit song called Ice Ice Baby, which he stole a sample from Queen and David Bowie. He used part of the song Under Pressure, and when confronted, immediately gave credit to Freddie Mercury and David Bowie. Freddie Mercury. I cannot say that word. Freddie Mercury and David Bowie. The case never made it to court because as soon as they confronted him about it, he immediately settled by paying them some extraneous amount. of money. Anyways, and then on the right is artwork used by artist Kendrick Lamar, rapper. It's for his song called "The Blacker the Berry," which is a racially driven song directed at all primarily white people. But towards the end of the song, he admits that he's actually talking about black people and how the violence of gangs causes a race that needs to be more united than they are already to turn against each other. But this is an example of copyright infringement taking place in the music industry outside of audio. Kendrick Lamar is being sued by Giordano Cipriani for use of one of his pictures, as pictured here, without clearing the sample. He's requesting $150,000 of damages for every time the photograph was used, and the case is still in progress. Kendrick Lamar nor his record label, Top Dog Entertainment, have any comment on the case. All right. So the question in debate is where the line is drawn regarding intellectual property and exclusive rights of the author regarding audio in the music industry. For example, the Beastie Boys won a case against jazz artist James Newton. The Beastie Boys took a 3-note progression from one of James's songs. They admitted to it afterwards, but the court ruled it too simple to be strictly owned by Mr. Newton. Another issue faced in the digital world regarding copyright infringement is torrenting. People share music software files and videos all the time. The RIAA recently took legal action on some online forums created for trading hip-hop music and shocked many members of the legal community. The attack was driven. The attack's focus was to send a message to these 3 pictured torrent websites pictured here, which is starting from left to right: Napster, Frostwire, and LimeWire, which allow for free trading of pretty much anything. But it started out as just music. So instead of targeting the actual perpetrators, copyright owners have started pursuing the facilitators, such as Napster. Actually, they're also pursuing powerful search engines such as Google and Yahoo that allow for copyright infringement, and even credit card companies that allow purchase of infringed products. Those suits ride on secondary and tertiary liability, which are, I guess in the simplest form, a secondary liability. Someone who has secondary liability, it would be, for example, Napster, because the people who use Napster. Lost my train of thought, but I'm not giving up. The people who use Napster trade audio files online, and they're considered secondary liability. Somebody who holds tertiary liability is a helper of the helper. So Napster would be considered responsible for tertiary liability. I think that made sense. You understand what I'm saying. Napster was shut down as a tertiary liability because it was easier to do that than to sue the millions of secondary liability users on Napster. Whoa. So outside of samples and torrenting, there is some positivity. Fair use policy is a safe way to avoid copyright owners but still use their material without fear of infringement. This is for commentation, criticism, or parody. Any review, blog, or parody can use any work without stepping on owners' toes, and is still a great way to express yourself artistically without safely citing work. So that concludes my presentation on copyright infringement. My personal opinion on the matter is, if you're allowed to be inspired by the world, you should not prevent another person from being inspired by you. As an artist, you're a creative person, but you don't make the sound. You just borrow it from the world. And to borrow something from the world and then prevent others from using it is it's not cool. Of course, if profits are made off of a piece of music, you should pay the original creator, but to grant someone the ability to decline the use of art is preposterous.